All right. So at this point, go ahead and put your feet on those pedals down there. Now let's talk real quick about safety. Just one little quick thing. I'm going to have you do some stuff today just because of your flying background that I usually don't have people do on their first flight. Like I'm going to have you taxi it. On the tops of the pedals, that's where the brakes are. So we never want to get on the brakes with this thing, because if you honk on the brakes, it'll go upside down.
Gotcha.
Or it'll go up on its nose and it'll wreck the engine. So the idea is you always want your heels on the floorboards. If your heels are on the floorboards, you don't have your feet aren't big enough to get on the brakes. And that's the key. So at this point, go ahead and grab the stick as well. Anytime you learn how to fly, if you learn how to fly, you use a checklist. And the checklist is really important, because the last thing you want to do is forget something. If you forget something, it could be your last mistake, right? But in this airplane, you don't want to bring a written checklist. You want to bring a mental checklist. We're going to use the word CIGAR, C-I-G-A-R, as an acronym to do our pre-takeoff checklist. So C is for controls in the word CIGAR. So what I want you to do is move that stick left and right, and you're checking for freedom of movement of the control system. Make sure the ailerons are working. Looks like one goes up, one goes down. Good. Check your elevator back behind you, and there's a mirror right up there. If you move your head around, you'll see that stuff back behind you. Elevator looks like it's working. Rudder. How's everything feel?
717. 991. You got 991. 3807. 3807.
It looks like the controls are working okay, so we'll call that good. I is for instruments, so what I want you to do is look at your altimeter, move your altimeter until both needles are pointing straight up at 0. All we care about here today is how high above the ground we are. I'm not so interested in how high above sea level. We're only 144 feet here above sea level. But we care about how high above the ground, so that's set at 0. Your airspeed is straight up at 0, and we talked about that little black ball. It's right in the middle. We'll talk more about that once we get underway. Don't worry about the rest of the instruments, their oil pressure, oil temperature, and the tack. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to take care of the engine for you. CIG is gasoline. Do we have enough fuel to fly? We check our fuel gauge. We have a little bit less than half a tank, so that's about an hour and 45 minutes. If you move the airplane around like I'm doing, you see that bobber's moving?
Yep.
So it's not stuck. I used to have one indicator that would stick when you get down to a quarter. That was bad. I had to replace that. Inside the cockpit, you talked about the mixture. It's going to be all the way forward at Rich. We're down here again at sea level. And then right ahead of that, there's a little red arrow that says on off. And we want the fuel on, or it's going to be a pretty short flight. A is accessories. Our elevator trim tab is underneath the throttle on the left-hand side. Don't worry about that today. You're an RC guy. You know what trim does. You're not going to have to adjust that at all. And we don't need carburetor heat today, so that's cold. The last letter we have is R, and that stands for run-up. We're going to check our engine out by the runway. So for now, let's go ahead and listen to our current weather here.
Clear. Temperature 2.
There's a little computer on the far end of the airport that gives you weather updates every minute, so it's pretty cool.
06. Remarks.
And it's a recording, so here's the new one.
Winter Haven's Gilbert Airport, Winter Haven, Florida. Automated weather observation 1434 Zulu. Wind 350 at 06. Visibility 10.
350 at 6. Let me get the airplane out of here and I'll kind of show you how to taxi it. We have two runways here, 350 at 6. One's out of the north. We have a northeast runway. That's the one we'll be using there. Doesn't that sound cool, like a Harley?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So remember what I kind of talked about inside about doing S-turns. So go ahead and put your feet on those pedals, heels on the floorboards. I'm going to give you a little, and hold the stick right about in the middle. Here's our hold short line. I'm going to look to my right. I'm listening to the radio. I don't hear any. There's a guy out there on final. Do you see him with the light on?
Yep.
So we don't want to pull out in front of him. We have quite a bit of flight training that goes on here at this airport in the wintertime. But we have that big air show down here called Sun and Fun. And when Sun and Fun ends, it's a morgue here until the fall.
Too hot for everyone.
Yeah, you can kind of see there's not much activity going on here. There's days when I'm like number 4 in the pattern to land here. All right, so I'm going to cross runway. I'm going to make a radio announcement. Winter Haven traffic, Navy Stearman, crossing runway 5 at Foxtrot 1, Winter Haven. So here's what we got to do. When we go we're straight across, we're going to go a little bit to our left, and then we hang our head out the right-hand side. And we go back to the right, and then we hang our head out the left-hand side. Don't see anybody. What we're looking for basically is turtles, I guess. There's really no airplanes. I'm going to get the airplane on the other side of this runway, or onto the taxiway, then I'm going to hand her over to you. All right, Brian, she's yours. So what I want you to do is just go straight all the way on this taxiway until it ends. There you go. So we're coming to the right, neutralize your pedals and look to your left. And then gently bring it back to the left, and then you look to the right. We'll keep it nice and slow for you.
Good Haven traffic, Cessna 13730 left, runway 5, Cessna going dead.
So this is fine, but what we want to try and do, we're doing these pretty severe S's, kind of trying to make them a little smaller, because really you can take one big old look, there's nothing there. There you go, let it come around. Just like that, good, much better. It's a good way to end your stay down here.
Oh, absolutely.
Florida. Weather observation 438 Zulu. Wind 360 at 07.
Now there's another runway right ahead of you. It's a non-active runway right now, so but I have to announce when we cross it. There's only one other airplane in the pattern here.
Heavy traffic, can be taxiing from apron to runway 5.
Winter Haven traffic, Navy Stearman crossing runway 2911 at Bravo, Winter Haven. Don't see anybody. Nice job with the taxi. Most people tell me, most of our first timers, they tell me this is the hardest part of the flight.
Traffic, Cessna 13730,
Right.
runway 5.
Nope, straight.
Cessna going dead.
Straight. Doing good? It takes some concentration.
Heavy traffic, into Caravans, 2 to the south, the sequence 8, the overflying sequence 8, northbound.
once we get to the end, we're going to face the airplane into the wind.
Traffic Twin B is holding short of runway 523.
And then we will check our engine. I certainly don't like to talk much on this part because you are using all your brain energy right now to concentrate on what you're doing.
Weather Haven crossing runway 5, Fox 2.
Cool. No one there.
What about that seaplane up there then?
Those guys have this, well, you saw those guys flying. They're Piper Cubs, right? And they fly at or below. Oh, they mean that one they just flew over?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even hear, he's not even on the radio. Those seaplanes, they don't have radios in them. So we actually have to avoid them. That guy's probably landing on the water right there. They just went over. All right, so here is our hold short line to our right. That little yellow and black line there. The power now is at idle. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to help you on this next part. I'm going to just gently ease on the brakes here. Now our oil temperature is fine. We're above 30 degrees. So Brian, go ahead and bring that stick all the way back to your lap. All the way back. There you go. Let me check our engine here.
Left downwind 5,
On the far left-hand side of the panel is your magneto switch. That little black lever over there. So we have dual ignition, so we're checking the magnetos and they're fine. And the engine's fine. So let's go over the takeoff once again here real quick. Here's the deal. I'm going to follow through with you. I want you to do this just because you're an advanced RC guy, and it's kind of scary the first time you do it for the first time. But once we get the airplane off the ground, you're going to be like, wow, I just did that, which is, I think, is pretty cool. So we're going to go on out to the runway. What you want to do, Brian, you want to look straight ahead, and you want to focus on infinity. And when you do that, peripherally out here on the corners of your eyes, you're going to see where the grass ends and the runway begins. It's like kind of line out here. If you start going on the runway and looking left and looking right, when you look left, the airplane's going to go to the left. When you look right, it's going to go to the right. So we want to look straight ahead. We're going to gently bring the power to full power. We're going to keep the airplane going straight down the runway. What's going to happen is the tail is going to come off the ground first. When that happens, she's saying, I'm ready to go. So just get the airplane off the ground where it's safe, and then gently lower the nose, get your airspeed of 75, and then once we get 75, then we're going to climb on out.
So how much elevator do we want to put into it? Right now, is it going to neutral out soon?
Once I bring the power in, yeah. You don't have to, you can let go of the stick. Let's see where this guy is. He's shooting landings here. Where did he go?
To the left.
Yeah, we'll just wait for him.
Winter traffic, Cessna's turn in final 5, Winter Haven.
Two little words of advice. I like to say this the last.
Winter Haven traffic, Cessna 172, 20357, inbound on the RNAV 11, low approach only, about 8 miles out now.
So what you want to do is, if you look outside the airplane when you fly today, you're going to do great. The other thing is, you're a big, strong guy, man. So what you want to do is just have a loose grip on the stick. Because if you have a death grip on it, your hand's going to cramp after a short period of time, and it's not going to be good. And there's this guy. Learn how to land. Flying is easy, landing takes some practice. So we're gonna head on out here. Now we're going to have a little bit of a crosswind. You can see our windsocks over here. So the wind's blowing across our runway. So we're going to have a little aileron into the wind here. Winter Haven traffic, Navy Stearman, departing 5 northbound Winter Haven. So just let it kind of go forward here. So now you see what I mean by looking straight ahead? You can see the sides of the runway?
Yep.
Okay. So you can see that we're going straight down the runway right now. Hold on 1 second. So look straight ahead, heels on the floorboards, stick over this direction here. There's straight ahead, good. All right, the stick's in neutral right now. You're not gonna have to move the stick or the pedals much at all. All right, that's full power right there. Here comes the tail, little right rudder. Keep it going straight. It's ready to go, Brian. Bring the nose up, good. Now lower the nose, lower the nose, lower the nose some more. Nope, nope, right rudder. Come off the rudder, there we go. Good. And I want you to fly straight on out. Congratulations. Now we have a smoke system on board. I'm going to give your buddies some air show smoke here. There's your air show smoke. Cool. All right, so right now we're going about 75 miles an hour. So lower that nose just a little tiny bit. Now, you're going to notice that this thing is pretty sensitive, and it's going to take a couple of minutes to kind of get used to it. Good, we'll make a left-hand turn out here. We'll head to the north. Remember, on the left-hand turn, you don't need to use any left rudder. What a beautiful day to fly, man. Look how smooth it is up here. Awesome. Now, a lot of the maneuvers that we're going to be doing today are called ground reference maneuvers. So what that means is just by looking over the side of the airplane, you can see which direction we're going. You see this road right here off our left wing? North and south. The other cool thing is if you look at these orange groves, the farmer planted them north, south, east, west direction. So you can see which direction. Let's make a shallow left-hand turn. Let's go to the west. Keep it going a little bit more to your left. Remember, you don't need to use any left rudder on a left-hand turn. A little bit more to your left. Cool. Do you see this road right off your right wing, Brian? It's right here. That's north-south. Let's make a right-hand turn. Let's go back to the north. Now, on this turn, this is your first turn to your right. You got to use a little right rudder. You can look at that little black ball, and you're going to notice it's right in the middle. There you go. Then you look right back outside. Perfect. Good. When we're parallel out of that road, we'll roll the wings back to level. Great. Let's make another left-hand turn. Let's go to the west. You can see these oranges down here, or this road on this subdivision, east-west. You might have heard people talk about IFR. In my world, that means I follow roads. Good. We're heading back to the west. Let's make another right-hand turn. Let's go back to the north. Got to use a little right rudder. Little right rudder. There you go. Sweet. So you've done some nice climbing turns. That's great. 20-degree angle of bank, nothing too steep. If you look at your upper left-hand instrument, that's your altimeter. Right now we're at about 800 feet. Just keep it going straight ahead, and we're going to level off at 1,000 feet. What do you think so far?
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another good reason why we like to look outside the airplane, we're looking for other airplanes that might be around here. Usually airplanes are a lot higher than 1,000 feet though, but if they're going into Winter Haven from the north, they would be down at this altitude. There's 900 feet.
I can see it's enough to get your orientation.
Right now you're going due north. And you know what, this is actually high enough. You can level the airplane, so lower that nose to what you think is level flight. A little bit more, lower that nose some more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit. There you go, that's level flight right there. All right, let's go into our lesson. Focus in on those wires that are directly ahead of you. Those are 45 degrees right now to the horizon. What I want you to do is I want you to make a 180-degree turn to your right, 30-degree angle of bank turn. Perfect. You can look at these oranges right here. These oranges are north-south. So when we're going this direction, that's 90 degrees. Just keep it going right until we're heading back to the south. Good. Baby steps. And we're going south. We'll roll the wings back to level. Let's try one of those to your left. Same deal. 30-degree angle of bank turn. 10, 20, 30. Perfect. Pretty simple, right? Not a big deal. This is 90 degrees. You can see this dirt road right there is north-south. We'll just keep it going to your left until we're heading back to the north. So I kind of mentioned this, you know, it's ground reference. If you keep looking over the side of the airplane, which you should be doing anyways, you can see what you're doing, which direction you're going. Cool, nice job. So far, so good. All right, let's push you. Focus in on those wires directly ahead of the windscreen. Those are 45 degrees. Let's do a 360-degree turn. Right now, you're going to the north. Let's go to your right. There's a bird off your right wing there. Put that wire parallel with the horizon and a little bit above the horizon, and around you go. Very good. That's the 90 degrees.
We're going 360?
360, yeah. To get your pilot's license, this is one of the maneuvers they make you do right here. That's a 180. There's that dirt road right underneath you. That's a nice north-south preference. Perfect. 360. If you didn't lose a foot, you're still at 900 feet. That would have passed on your check ride right there. Awesome. Let's try one to your left. Same deal. Put that left wire parallel with the horizon. And a little bit above. Cool. 90 degrees. .180 degrees is here. See, now you know what that little plastic man feels like in your RC planes. He's scared too. 270 is there. 360's here. Great job. Nice. How easy is that?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Good. Okay. Are you having a good time, by the way?
I'm a little tense, but yes.
I hear you. I hear you. Here in about another couple of minutes, all that, once you figure out for yourself how easy this thing is to fly, all that apprehension starts to melt away. Because to be honest with you, if we needed to land, make an emergency landing or precautionary landing, how about that open field over there? How about over there? There's a little airport off our left. They're all over the place. That's why I like flying down here. I don't really like flying too much up in Pennsylvania.
Too many trees.
You got too many trees up there. I did that once, and I'm like, I'm not coming here ever again. Okay, the Lazy 8. Let's talk about the Lazy 8. It's a lot of fun. We're trying to learn how to fly the airplane by sound and by feel. So what I'm going to do here, Brian, is I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do half of the Lazy 8 together, you and I. I'll show you how to do it. So here I am with you. Just stay with me. We're going to lower the nose and get a little bit more airspeed. All right, so right now we're going about 90. You hear that whistle? It's hard to hear it. 10-degree angle of bank turn to our left. We don't want that. That's way too much angle of bank. We want it really shallow, about 10 degrees. Then we're going to bring the nose up. So you're in a climbing turn right now. Not a big deal. Don't move the stick. Don't move your feet. Do you hear the RPM decrease as it goes uphill?
Yep.
Good. Notice I'm not moving anything.
Nope.
She slows down. Gravity will pull the nose through the horizon. Now listen to it. Listen to it. There's 90, there's 100, 95, there's 100. There's 105, 110. We roll the wings to the right, bring the nose up, and you're going the other direction. Remember what I said inside. We try to learn how to fly the airplane by sound and by feel. Airplane is yours. Okay, let's have you try one to your left by yourself. So 10 degrees to your left, and then stick back to neutral. Good, bring the nose up a little bit more. Bring the nose up, good. Now hold it right there, don't move anything. Here she comes, the nose falls to the horizon, don't move anything. Part of the maneuver is going downhill as well. There you go, listen to it. 75, 80, 85, there's 90, 95. Start rolling it right and bring the nose up. Cool. Seat of the pants flying is what we're learning here. You like that?
Yeah, did I do that or you felt like you did it?
Dude, I'm not touching anything. All right, I'm gonna put my hands right here on your shoulder so you know. Let's have you try one to your right. Same thing, but over the top, little right rudder. Good, 10 degrees, bring the nose up some more, up. Hold the stick right there, little right rudder now. Let the nose come through, let it speed on up, good. Listen to it. Start rolling it to your left and up. Nice job. Feel the G-force on the bottom end a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Good, and that's one to the right. Awesome. We're down here at about 600 feet, so let's climb up a little higher. Brian, what we want you to do now is we're going to do one to the left, followed by one to the right. No stopping. Now, don't think about doing the whole thing because you're going to screw up the first one. So do the best you got to the left, and then we'll worry about going to the right later. Here we are back at 800 feet. I'm comfortable with that, so go ahead and lower that nose to level flight. There's no one behind us. Let's try one to our left. So 10 degrees to your left, bring the nose up some more. Hold it right there. I got my hands up, just so you know. Here she comes. Don't move the stick at all. Let the nose come on through. Good. Now listen to it. 85, 90, start rolling it to your right. Now, roll it 10 degrees to your right. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And bring the nose up. Good. A little bit more back pressure on the stick. Hold the stick right there. Little right rudder now. Perfect. Start rolling it back to your left. Bring that nose on up. And that's a lazy 8 all by yourself. Hoorah! Pretty cool, right? Isn't that awesome? Now, do you remember how you felt about 10 minutes ago? You're tense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you weren't even talking to me. Now you're smiling and you're looking outside the plane. So we're starting to get to that point where we want to be, having you being comfortable. Awesome. Let's make a left-hand turn. And let's go to the east here. I'm kind of curious. What do you think so far? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse?
It actually flies a lot easier than I thought.
Yeah. You know why that is?
Why's that?
We'll show you. Go ahead and roll the airplane back to level flight. It's pretty calm here today. Okay. And then let go of the stick for me. And then look at me in the mirror. All right. So look, no one's flying the thing right now, right?
Right.
It's a trainer. It's stable. This thing will fly this direction until it runs out of gas, which is probably be over the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. You don't have to fly it. You just have to tell it where you want it to go, which is pretty cool. All right, you got it. Go ahead and grab it. Now we're to the point of our flight intro where you've been dreading the stall. No one likes doing the stall because it's the fear of the unknown. But you're in one of the greatest trainers ever built. So let's go ahead and figure what that's about. So what I want you to do is I'm going to gently bring the power back. And Brian, gently lower the nose. A little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. Now tell me when you can hear the whistle. That's good right there. You hear the whistle?
I can hear it.
All right, right now you're going about 100. Bring it to level flight. Good. Now we're going about 110. Now listen to it. Listen to it.
Yeah.
Hear the airspeed bleeding off? Bring the nose up a little bit more. Bring the nose up some more. Listen, pretty quiet, huh? Well, don't move the stick. Here's your stall. It's going to say, hey, Brian, if you won't lower my nose, I'm going to do it for you. Don't move anything. Watch what happens. Hear the whistle?
Yep.
You gain speed, the nose is going to come right back up to level flight. That's a stall in a Stearman. How easy was that?
And they're afraid of that?
What?
People are afraid of that?
They're afraid of that. You do that in a different type of plane, it's kind of nasty. Just like Jill was telling you about, if you stall a Cessna, it's going to fall off, it'll scare you. But that's a stall. The idea, again, is to know what the airplane sounds like when it stalls, because when we land today, I don't want to look at an airspeed indicator. I want to look where I'm going. And that's how you fly a plane. That's up and down, left and right, and fast and slow. I've done my job here. Flying is fun.
Yeah, this is pretty
That
bad.
is pretty cool, right? I told you about all the lakes that we have here to ski on. Yeah. You'll never forget today. And it's kind of like fate, you know. You just guys kind of pulled into our hangar just on a whim last Saturday. You never would have known. I know.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, cool. So what was your favorite maneuver we've done so far today?
Well, I feel a lot more comfortable now. So
I can tell. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's do another turn. I'm going to give you a little air show smoke. Here's some smoke. All right, so if you make a level turn in the sky, you should fly right through your smoke. Just keep it going to your right. We'll do a 360. Now, I can tell you were a little freaked out at first because you were not talking at all. So if you look at you right ahead, you're doing great. Keep it going. Whatever you're looking at, just keep going. Your smoke is right off your right wing. Perfect. You see your smoke? Start looking for it. To your ahead, to your right. It's straight ahead of you. It's kind of hard to see because there's all the fires. So that was a level turn in the sky, right there. There you go. Cool. Let's try one to your left. That would pass on your check ride. Same thing to your left. Smoke on now. And now I'm going to say we're about almost close to 50 degrees angle of bank. Just keep it coming left. See your smoke?
yeah, there we go.
That's a 360. Very nice. Your friends back home are going to be like, you did what? Oh, you went for a ride in a plane? You're like, no, I didn't go for a ride. I took the guy for a ride. I'm flying it. What about those Lazy 8s? Did you like that?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Cool. There's some houses down below you. There's nothing to your, let's actually, you know what, let's go to your left. Let's try one to your left. So a shadow turn, bring the nose up. There you go. I got my hands up. I love doing these. The more of these you do, the more comfortable you're in becoming doing them, and the steeper you can make them. Now don't let the nose come through. Don't bring the stick back. There you go. Let it speed on up. Good. Shadow turn. Roll it onto your right. 10 degrees, and then bring the nose up. Perfect. Little right rudder now. Listen to it. There's 95, there's 100, 105, 110. Very nice. Brian, you're a natural, man. Look at all that crazy stuff you were doing all these years of that RC stuff. You were building your talent level for today. You never knew that. Let me ask you this. You're doing a great job, by the way. The stall. That didn't bother you, did it?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. No.
In a real world, would that ever happen? A partial power on stall? I don't know. Probably not. But what would happen is a power on stall. So hold the stick right where it's at. We got a lot of power dialed in. So let's say we took off and we didn't lower the nose on takeoff. Bring the nose up a little bit more. This is a power on stall. You feel the stick shaking?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
your stall.
Okay, yeah.
That's a power on stall. Not a big deal. But you think you're back in level flight, look at your upper right-hand instrument. It says you're still sinking. So the airplane, it looks like it's going straight, but it's just descending. And that's why you don't want to do that near the ground. Were you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, lower that nose for me a little bit. When we land, it's going to sound like this. Power off stall. When you land your RC planes, you do the same thing.
Yep.
Start bringing that nose on up. Come on back some more. It's pretty quiet, huh? And then here is your power off stall right there. It's docile. It was built for an 18-year-old kid. It had to be docile.
Yeah.
Because if it had nasty stall characteristics, it's going to kill people. We don't want our trainers killing people. And away you go. Sweet. So you've been flying this thing now for about almost 20 minutes. Let me ask you a question. In World War II, you would have had to have soloed this thing in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction. 8 and 12 hours. Do you think you could do that?
That's pretty crazy. I mean, if you had no experience whatsoever.
None. They don't have, I mean, those kids back then, they didn't know how to fly a radio control plane because that hadn't been invented yet. But do you think you could do it?
I think I could.
Hell yeah, you could do it. All you got to do is teach you how to do takeoff and landings. You already now, after 20 minutes, you already know how to fly it. Let's do a 180 degree turn left or right, your choice. There you go. Awesome. All right, we'll roll the airplane back to level here. Let's try, I'll tell you what, let's try another one of those lazy 8s to your left. 10 degrees, bring it on up. There you go, hold it right there. Look to your left, you're looking straight down at the swamp down below. Let that nose come on through. Then roll it on out, we'll try one to your right. So shallow turn to your right, bring the nose up, hold that stick right there, freeze the stick, right rudder now. There you go, help her go to the right. Beautiful right there. Let it speed up going downhill. World's newest air show pilot right here. And maybe 2 G's on the bottom end. Now you know why people like flying these planes. You know, open cockpit, it's already warm. It's awesome when it's warm. It's brutal when it's cold. I'll tell you that right now. It's horrible. All right, we'll make another left-hand turn. The airport's ahead of you about 2 miles. We'll go back out here to the east. So you were nervous before?
Yeah, I'm getting loosened up
Yeah,
now.
that's all gone now, right? Cool. All right, so let's try this. This is kind of fun. If you look at your altimeter, we're close to 700 feet, so lower that nose. Take me down to 500 feet. I'll bring the power back a little bit. Let's do a shallow turn to your right. So we're doing descending turns because earlier you were doing climbing turns. Good, we'll roll the wings to level here. Let's try one to your left. A shallow descending turn to your left. Let's go down to 400 feet. Good. In the pattern today, this is what you're going to be doing right here. Descending shallow turns just like that. So it's not a really big deal. Enjoy the view. This is something you don't get to do too often. Your buddy with the Cirrus,
Yeah.
you know, those airplanes are awesome. But they're really fast and they're designed to take you from point A to point B. This airplane here is designed to teach you how to fly and take you from point A to point A. So you don't really get to do stuff like this in a Cirrus because you're going close to 200 miles an hour. Right now you're going 70. And it ain't scary at all. It's pretty cool. You see right ahead of you, there's an airplane. He's up there about 2 miles. Well, here's what I want you to do. Come around. Do you see that blue building right there off your left wing? Let's go over there, and I'm going to give you some more power. I want you to climb up to 800 feet at 75 miles an hour.
Observation 1510 Zulu. Wind 360 at 06.
So look at your airspeed indicator. Right now you're going about 60, so lower the nose, because we don't have enough air going over the wings to create the lift that we need to climb. Because right now we're not even climbing. So lower the nose, you get it going a little faster. You can see your upper right-hand instrument, your vertical speed indicator. It says we're actually descending right now because we're going too slow. There you go, 75. Now if you bring the nose up, we're going close to 80. Now it'll start climbing.
There we go.
It's called airspeed management. Doing great. There's one of those little seaplanes right there I was telling you about, those little yellow guys on the water down there. Now, Brian, do you see off your right shoulder over here, do you see the airport?
Yes.
All right, I want you to make a right-hand turn. I want you to head right to the middle of that airport.
Winterhaven traffic, Piper Cup departing runway 5.
Winterhaven traffic, Navy Stearman, 2 mile 45, landing 5, Winterhaven. All right, keep it coming right. Keep it coming right. Go right to the middle of that airport.
I don't want to parallel up with it.
Not yet. We'll do that when we get a little closer. There you go. Hold it right here. There's an airplane, a Piper Cub just took off. And usually that guy does pattern work. And that thing's really slow. So we'll be ahead of him. Doing great. So in the pattern to land, we're going to be flying a big rectangle in the sky. And we're going to be maintaining certain airspeeds, and that's the reason why we did those 30-degree angle of bank turns, because in the pattern, that's what we're looking for. Doing good, doing good. Just lower that nose just a little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. Good, hold her here. Winterhaven traffic, Navy Stearman, left downwind for 5, Winterhaven. I don't even see that yellow thing yet.
Traffic, Cherokee, 2 miles to the north, and down to 10.
So Brian, here's what we got. There's our main runway right there. So we're going to continue, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn and another left-hand turn. You're going to line up the airplane with our runway. There's the Cub off the end of the runway there. Looks like there's another airplane on the end of the runway. He's waiting to take off down here. Doing great. He's departing now. So looks to me like there's going to be no other traffic in the pattern. Okay, so when we get to the end of a runway here, we call it a beam, the end of the runway, I'm going to gently bring the power back, and we're going to lower the nose, and I want you to maintain at least 75 miles an hour. So I'm going to bring the power back now. So lower that nose for me a little bit. There you go. Good. Looks like there's another Piper Cub right down on the end of the lake. He's going to take off.
Traffic, Piper Cub turning downwind, 415, runway 5.
Lower, there we go. Let's make a left-hand turn now. Winterhaven traffic, Navy Stearman, left base, landing 5, Winterhaven. What we do here is
traffic, runway 5, Winterhaven.
is you always kind of say, okay, if the engine quits right now, can I make the runway? Yes. I don't want to land in the lake. So when you're ready, let's keep this turn going to your left. Lower that nose a little bit. We're going a little slow. Winter Haven traffic, Navy Stearman, final per 5, Winter Haven. Keep it coming left and lower that nose some more. There you go. Hold her there. Do you hear that whistle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good, we got plenty of speed because it's not quiet. There we go, perfect. We have a little crosswind left and right. So what's gonna happen is the wind's gonna be blowing you to the right side of the runway. Lower that nose some more. Lower that nose some more. There you go, good. Perfect. All right, this is how the landing thing works. I'm gonna take it from here. Just have your feet on the floor. Now listen to it. We're gonna get it all lined up. We know that the wind's blowing you to the left, so I'm gonna have a little, just make sure, are your feet on the floor?
Yep.
Okay, listen to it, listen to it. All right, that was the easy part. The hard part now is keeping this thing going straight. And it turned out not to be a big deal. So from now on, what we got to do now is just teach you how to do landings.
Winter Haven traffic, Piper Cub turning base for runway 5.
That's how you fly Stearman.
What's that other yellow one over there?
That is called, that's a home built, I want to call that a Star Duster, I think is what it's called. Somebody built that in the basement. It's experimental.
I think he's been putting a lot of miles on this week.
That guy, I saw him flying it the other day.
Yeah,
Have you seen a lot of that?
When we were on the lakes, he came over quite a bit.
Was he doing aerobatics in it, like loops and rolls?
I didn't see any. He was pretty much just cruising along. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's like a pit style kind
Yeah, yeah, that's an airplane called a Star Duster that came out back in the 50s. The home-built movement was really big back in the 50s. People were building their own aircraft. And then it's kind of died out some. You can build some pretty cool home-built planes and go really, really fast in them. Hey, you did a good job, man. And here's the cool thing. I'm not just telling you that. I think you know you did well. So we're just about going to put this rascal right back where we found it. And cool, we'll swing this thing around. And to shut it down, we're going to bring the mixture control all the way back to lean. We'll add a little bit of throttle, and that's our complete your mission.
Nice.